Well, it's that time of year again. It's Christmas, or near enough to Christmas. Ozzy, you ready?
Always.
I'm gonna spend my Christmas with a Dalek and hug him underneath the mistletoe. And if he's very nice, I'll feed him sugar spice and hang a Christmas stocking from his big left toe. And when we both get up on Christmas morning, I'll kiss him on his chromium-plated head and take him in to say hi to Mum.
Hello, and welcome back to Slitheen, where today I'm joined by formerly Mono Supreme, although I'm not really... Are you dead?
No, I'm not quite dead. The channel's just on a little bit of a break at the moment. But no,
Well-
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to actually talk about Doctor Who. Even if it's not
yes.
on Mono Supreme, it's great to be able to talk about it with you.
Finally! We can actually talk about Doctor Who! It's actually back on after 13 months!
Is that how long it's been?
Yeah,
Well, it feels
13
like
months.
much longer.
It does feel like much longer, actually. Power of the
There
Doctor-
was a break from Flux to Power of the Doctor or something, and then
Yes,
a
there
break
was.
from Power of the Doctor to the
Yes.
Star Beast. So it just feels like Doctor Who hasn't really been on the air.
Yeah, but now hopefully there won't be too many long breaks, because after these specials we got the Christmas special, and then I think the next season is coming in spring next year.
Okay.
Hopefully at least.
That's good stuff.
But today we're going to be talking about the Star Beast, which is the first special of the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. So I guess we'll start at the beginning, and this is not the greatest beginning to an episode that I've seen, because it opens with the 14th Doctor just standing on
I
the
forgot about
green screen, and he says, "What does he say? It's something like Once Upon a Time Lord or something." And we have this little
Time Lord.
we have this little opening thing, which I'm not. If they had have done it slightly differently, I would have liked it. But the green screen that he's on just doesn't look too great.
Yeah, I think it's just that it just wasn't very imaginative the way that it was presented. As in, David Tennant was just stuck onto the screen. It
Yeah,
didn't really look like he was part of the scene. I know he wasn't meant to, but like
yeah, he was just kind of hovering in space.
it just looked odd. It really threw me off when it started. And I was like, oh, so this is the start to the new Disney budget. Oh, okay. I feel like they probably like did that really last minute, as in like, oh shit, nobody's gonna remember what happened. Let's just stick that at the beginning. And I've seen people say like they should have just done like a previously thing, like previously on Doctor
Yes,
Who.
they definitely should have.
I would have preferred that because like it just wouldn't have looked as cheesy as that. But I mean, the whole episode was just cheese anyway, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, I mean, and then also during this scene, we get our first new piece of music by Murraygold, which I'm so glad that Murraygold's back. Literally, his music is just phenomenal, in my opinion. It hasn't, I mean, it hasn't gotten any worse, but we haven't really reached any great new tracks so far. I don't think
No.
there hasn't really been a new "I Am the Doctor" or something. I think it's mostly been kind of reusing old things and adding some
mean,
new things in.
Yeah, like during the Whittaker era, there weren't that many standout tracks for me. I can remember like the new Dalek theme. That's like the only thing I can remember from the Sega Nakanoa era, which is a shame because obviously he's a talented musician, but I just don't quite think he was right for the show. But when
Yeah.
it comes to Murray Gold, like when I heard about it, I wasn't overly excited because like I do like Murray Gold, but he's not my favorite composer of all time. I think he could really like overdo it unnecessarily. But hearing the score in these two episodes, I'm actually quite impressed. Nothing like smacked me in the face, which I was quite happy about.
Okay. I mean, I guess the next thing that happens is the new title sequence. This is quite exciting. When it aired live, I was really happy with it. But then rewatching it, there's a few things that I would change. What do you like and dislike about it?
I like how like they use different shots of the TARDIS like flying through space, isn't it? It's not just like a single one shot like they've done with every title sequence that's ever happened on Doctor Who. But it kind of feels like it's a bit empty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked Tennant's face to pop up like that. That would have really made it for me. And I don't like the big stupid new logo just like thrown at you. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's my least favorite
Whoa.
part of it.
Yeah. I think they could have been a lot cleverer with how they did that.
Yeah, it could have had like an animation to have it appear or something, but instead it's just kind of like,
It's just a 2D image.
yeah, there's
Yeah. And a massive BBC logo on top. It's like, yeah, I know I'm watching the BBC. It says in the top left corner.
I mean, I think the biggest controversy about the theme is the timing of the music. I mean, this didn't bother me too much, but usually the logo or like David Tennant and Catherine Tate's names would appear at different points during the music.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about that.
It doesn't really bother me.
I mean, I didn't really notice. I don't think I've actually watched them back yet. But I'm sure it's probably going to change when Shooty Gatwa comes in.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I think didn't Rusty Davis say that it isn't actually what he wanted it to be, the theme?
I'm not sure.
Not the theme
I don't
itself,
know.
but like the
The title sequence.
yeah. I'm sure he
Yeah.
said that it isn't what they asked for or something like that.
I mean, these
So
things do happen.
yeah,
So,
I am interested to see if it will change for Shooty because before his old title sequence, it stayed the same for each Doctor that he worked on.
oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, so I
They
was
just
thinking
changed the music a
maybe
little bit. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so I
what I
was thinking
thought.
maybe they're going to keep this one for Shooty as well. But after hearing that, I'm not so sure that they will keep it. I think
I
it
think
might
it's
be
going to be
similar.
updated.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It just feels like it isn't finished.
Yeah, I got that impression. I think.
I
But
mean, this
you know,
is gonna because obviously we're filming this while Blue Yonder is already out, and this is gonna be a
mm.
bit of a theme, in my opinion, is that they do slightly feel unfinished.
You mean just in terms of the themes or the episodes or?
The episodes as well. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's just me, but they do feel like they are unfinished, even though they had what was it? They filmed like a year ago or something, so they had a lot longer to edit these and to add the CGI than usual. I think.
I think all the focus is going into Shooty Gatwa's run, and that's where the time and the money's going. Which I hope, because it'd be like a big new refresh for the show, and these are kind of just like three presents, if you were,
Yeah, hopefully.
for the old school fans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now we'll get into kind of like the episode itself. I really enjoyed it overall. I
Okay.
thought it was a very good adaptation of the comic. But the beginning it was a little bit fast paced. Like in the first like 2 minutes of the episode, the Doctor's already bumped into Donna. Like he walks
Yeah.
out the TARDIS. He walks for about
2
20
seconds.
seconds,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he meets Donna. So the pacing is a bit off at the beginning for me.
Yeah, I
It
agree
gets
with that,
better as it
definitely.
goes on, but it is just a bit fast paced at the beginning. What do you think of like the first quarter of the episode?
I do think I agree, but it's probably a case, and this always happens with TV, as in it probably was longer. You do definitely get that
Yeah,
impression, and it's like the BBC execs would have said, "No, we need it 60 minutes." So they will have to cut time down. I'm sure they cut that opening down a little bit. That's usually the go-to explanation for that kind of thing. Really, yeah.
I mean, what do you think of the 14th Doctor's character? Because this isn't really the 10th Doctor. He's slightly different.
No, yeah, definitely. I actually really did like his character on screen because when it came to David Tennant's performance in his previous incarnation, I definitely preferred his more serious kind of like performance. As in, I don't like the whole. I know he says Alonzi in this episode, but like I don't like the whole kind of thing that he did, and I preferred it when he was a bit grittier, especially in series 2. So I definitely got those kind of vibes from him. But it did feel like he was playing a more nuanced character. Like you could tell. Like we'll talk about this later, but the timeless child thing has definitely affected the character, and you definitely feel that.
Yes.
And I'm
I
glad
agree.
it's not like just a straight copy of the 10th Doctor.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think if they had kept it the same as 10, like, why wouldn't it just be 10
Yeah, why didn't they
reappearing?
just bring 10 back? And
So I do like that they have changed him a bit.
yeah, they're not trying to make him look younger either. Like he really does
Yeah.
look really scruffy, and he looks his age. Sorry, Tennant, but you look 40, whatever, 48, whatever you are.
So what happens next? So he bumps into Donna. He tries to get out of it, but then he just, for some reason, he just has to help her with the boxes. And
It's the
then
Doctor. The Doctor always does stuff like that.
Donna calls Rose, which again he's very confused by. We get a few whats here,
What?
which is good to hear. And then it turns out Rose is Donna's daughter.
Mm.
And then see one thing in this beginning kind of segment is that the Doctor, everyone that the Doctor meets is a relative of Donna. There's no one else.
Yeah.
Like he
Convenient
goes
too.
into a taxi and it just so happens to be Sean that's in the taxi.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, what happens? Okay, so he's just met Rose. Oh, and then of course the spaceship crashes.
That's quite a big
Um,
point, I guess.
Yes. What do you think of the CGI here of the spaceship?
I can't really remember.
I thought it was very good. I
can't, I
thought
really,
it felt like it was actually there. Um, and of course Donna misses it all. And on my rewatch, I noticed what Donna was saying here, and I thought it might actually be foreshadowing for something. So as Donna is restacking the boxes, not noticing the spaceship crashing,
yeah.
she's actually talking about the person who stacked the boxes in the first place, a shop owner or something. I don't know who. But she's saying that you can never trust a man with a goatee. And that, the master?
Oh, maybe. But I mean, I don't want the Master to come back because we've had so much of the Master in New Who.
Yeah, we have had a lot of the master.
Um, could be.
Yeah, who knows? It could even be the toy maker, but the toy maker doesn't have a goatee, so.
So it's probably not the Toy Maker.
Okay, what happens next? So after the spaceship crashes, the Doctor goes into the taxi to get to the place where it landed, and he has a chat with Sean Temple, Donna's husband, and he finds out that Donna gave away all the money that he had given her. So what? Because I know some people don't think this is in character for Donna, just to give away what was it like £66 million.
Yeah, I don't really think Donna would have particularly done that off her own back. But I suppose wasn't the explanation that it was because of the Doctor Donna thing?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. The explanation that it was partially the Doctor Donna thing that made her do it, and her kind of remembering what the Doctor would do with that money, he would have given it away.
Yeah, I mean, I was never really that on board with the whole Doctor Donna thing just in general anyway, and I wasn't excited like everybody else for them to return, and so I'm always gonna have that bias against like the whole arc of it, as in I don't really care about the Doctor Donna stuff. Where was my point going with that? I can't remember.
You don't care about the Doctor Donna.
Yeah. Bottom line, I just don't care. No, yeah, definitely does make sense why she did it like that. But I kind of feel like just having Rose called Rose was like enough of a wink and nod to her remembering bits of the Doctor.
Yeah, and also, of course. Oh, actually, I guess I'll get to that when we get to it. Actually, what I'm going to keep on saying what happens next because it's been a couple of days since I saw it, and it's already leaving my mind.
I only saw it when it came out. I never got around to rewatching it, so it's fine.
Oh, you didn't even rewatch
No,
it?
I didn't have any time.
Did you like? Oh, actually, we'll get to that later as well. Okay. Okay, so what did happen next? So the Doctor's trying to find out where the spaceship crashed. He gets there, and we get the first use of the new sonic screwdriver.
I like how the sonic screwdriver can do a lot of different things. I kind of do think that it would have been nice to show him like putting up this map because like when it just
What is this?
when it just cut to that scene, I kind of just thought, wait, hang on, why is there like a projection in front of him? And then it's explained that it's the sonic screwdriver that does that. But I like how the new sonic screwdriver has new powers. What do you think of that?
Oh well, I think I have an exclusive one that you don't.
Which I missed out. I know I missed out twice.
So yeah, I'm happy with what the Sonic does. I think the force field is a bit. That's pushing it. Wait, what? Oh, I thought that was the limited edition
No,
version
this
for
is
a
the
second.
standard one.
Wait, did you miss out twice on it then?
Yeah, I missed out on the second time. Well, apparently the website, like, it took like 2 hours for people to be able to order it because the website just completely crashed. So I might not have even got it anyway, even if I tried.
So yeah, I think the force field is a bit of a push, but I think everything else that he does with it is fine. But I do think they make it a little bit overpowered, and that shows in the next story. But we keep on mentioning the next story.
I don't know. I don't mind. People have always had a problem with the sonic screwdriver doing more than opening doors, and it's like, but if the Doctor's going to have the same gadget for 2,000 years, they're obviously going to make adjustments to it.
Yeah, and also I do like the fact that when this opens, you can tell that the 14th Doctor has been the 14th Doctor for a while. Like there's no weird regeneration
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that we don't have to deal with that again, because Tennant's already done that. So why would he have to do it again?
Yeah, we don't want another episode of him being asleep for 70 minutes.
Yeah, no, no, thank you.
So where were we? He what did he do with the Sonic? He like opened he used to, it's like wire cutters or something, I think.
All right.
He opened like a grill of some sort to get through like a fence into the what's the place? Is steel working thing?
Something like that. Well, we've not really talked about Ruth Madeley's character much.
Well, we're about to get to that though.
Is that all right? Okay.
So he gets in. Um, he has a scan of the spaceship. He says something about like a dagger drive or something, and then we have Shirley appear, the 56th scientific advisor for UNIT, and they have this chat about Donna and how if she remembers the Doctor, then she will die, and all that stuff. And Shirley finds out that the Doctor that's in front of her is not the 10th Doctor; it is actually the 14th. Yeah, but what did you think about Shirley?
Well, I liked her in Years and Years, the actress Ruth Medley.
Yeah.
Medley. I don't know. I don't really get that much of an impression of her because she just kind of seems like the sarcastic scientific person who shows up. But we know that she's going to be in the giggle, so like I hope we get a bit more actual character work there.
Yeah, she doesn't have much of a character in this episode.
No, she turns up and just asks questions, and that's about
Yes.
it, really.
And
Yeah.
then says the Doctor is apparently the one word to describe the Doctor is jammy. And that whole line where then the Doctor says jam on toast, that just seemed really out of nowhere and just random to me.
Jam on toast.
I think someone said somewhere if he had said something like no, not jammy, a jammy Dodger, that would have been better.
That would have been cool.
But yeah, and also, see, I'm fine with her having like the rocket things in her wheelchair, but when she fires them, the Doctor says, "What? You have rockets in your wheelchair?" And then she says, "We all do." What does that mean?
Yeah. I find that quite offensive. On Davros's stuff, I find that quite offensive.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess Stephen Moffat made me scared of statues. Chris Chibnall made me scared of. What did he make me scared of? Bad writing.
Yes, bad writing.
And now Rusty Davis has made me scared of wheelchairs.
Well done, Russell. Well done.
Because I know that they all have rockets in them now.
Yeah. So you're never going to be able to look at someone in a wheelchair the same again. Yeah, in that show, that's even worse than the whole Davros thing, as in you just walk up to someone in a wheelchair and say, "Does it have rockets in it?"
Okay, so yeah. And then I don't know why the Doctor doesn't actually want to be seen by UNIT, because he makes it seem like, oh, I don't want to be seen by UNIT, and he doesn't really make it clear why.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, because like Jodie Whittaker literally rang up UNIT and said, "Are you still open?" And they said no.
Yeah. He's just kind of hiding from them at this stage, and then he gets into the
he's
back.
not wanted, like he's worshipped.
Exactly.
That's just so weird.
Yeah, and then he gets into the back of the truck, and it drives off. And then we have the UNIT soldiers are obviously like figuring out what on earth the spaceship is doing here. Ruth Madeley's character thinks it actually landed instead of crashed. And then there are stairs, so she can't go up to get to the door of the spaceship. So the UNIT soldiers have to go up and check. And then there's a weird swirly thing, and it seems to possess them. And
the purple swirly stuff.
Yeah, it's always good to see a swirly thing in Doctor Who. It's always a good thing.
I mean, I knew from the beginning. Like, I'd not read the Starbase. I didn't know anything about it, but it was just so obvious that was like the Meeps thing, because that wasn't like the ship of the other aliens.
Well, actually, I did think. I thought that the design of the ship, because if you look at the top, it kind of has these circular window things, and they are red. Like they look like the Wrath Warrior's eyes, and so I thought, is it the Wrath Warrior's ship? Well, I didn't, because I'd read the comic and I knew it was Beat the Meeps. But I thought it could trick someone into thinking that it was the Wrath Warrior's ship.
Okay.
Where did the Wrath Warriors actually come from in this episode? They don't have a spaceship.
They kind of just were there for 5 minutes, weren't they? They didn't really do an awful lot.
And then we go to what? So next. Beat the Meep? Does Beat the Meep appear next?
I don't know, just make it up, it's fine.
Yeah, Beat the Meep. Rose finds Beat the Meep.
Oh, yeah.
No. Okay. I'm back on track. So Fudge runs up to Rose, says, the spaceship, it landed. And Rose is like, that's like a mile away or something. That's ages away. And then he's like, oh, no, it's a bit fell off. It's very close. And it appears to be empty, so clearly whatever was in it got out. And so when Rose is going back or something, Beat the Meep is just hiding in some bin bags.
Mm.
And what do you think of Mira Margulies voicing Beat the Meep?
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was definitely a well-suited performance.
Yeah, I thought absolute perfect voicing here,
Yeah,
voice acting. Um, yes,
they
and
kind of just
also
stuck her in a booth and let her do whatever she wanted. When I watched Unleashed, it just looked like she was just kind of just saying whatever she wanted.
yeah. So also, what do you think of Rose?
I don't really think that much, to be honest. You
Yeah, I
really?
think the issue with the characters that are being introduced in this story is that they don't get enough character development to actually have a character.
Yeah, I think they're all kind of just thrown into the mix with this, and it very much is just a romp.
Yes.
And I mean, I do definitely appreciate them tackling the whole like what it's like to be a trans person. I definitely
Yeah.
do commend them for doing that. But I kind of think, was this really the story to do it in? Because it kind of just happened a little bit, and then the rest of her character, she didn't have much of a character by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the idea that she was making these like they call them gonks, but they're really not gonks.
Oh, the plushy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of
I
cool.
like I like the
But
fact
that's
she
not
was
really a
making
substitute for
them, they
character,
were.
though, as in, like, this person
Yeah.
makes something. And
I mean, it's been confirmed that she's returning, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, I hope so.
So I'm excited to see that because I want her to get more of a character than she had in this.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, you have Donna and Sylvia, who are already fully fledged characters, so they don't really need any
No,
character
no, no.
stuff. They're already just them.
Yeah.
And I thought Sylvia was this was the best story for Sylvia, in my opinion.
All right, okay.
Um, I thought she was very, very good in this one. Uh, Donna, I mean, of course, because she's forgotten all the Doctor stuff, she doesn't until the end of the story doesn't really seem like herself. There's a very good reason for that because she's lost half her memories.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so what happened? So Rosa's found Beat the Meep, and of course, Beat the Meep is pretending to be all nice and friendly. Um, and this is when we first encountered the Wrath Warriors, isn't it? Because Fudge is like running off somewhere, and then they're just kind of coming around the corner looking for the Meep. And also, important to notice, important to note, it is just the Meep. It's not Meep the Meep.
Oh, right, okay. So it's not Beep the Meep, it's just the Meep.
No, it's just the Meep.
Interesting.
And then there is a point later on in the episode where they say, "I am Beep of all the Meeps," but that's the one time that Beep is said.
Okay. I didn't really pick that up. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure that will make loads of people angry, but I'm fine with it.
Well, adaptations of comics are never going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the adaptation itself was actually really true to the comic, to be honest.
Okay. Well, they had like the original writers on set, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And
Which was
also,
really cool to watch.
this is something that I definitely want to talk about is the CGI in this episode in general, but especially for Beat the Meep,
Beep the Meep.
because go on.
Yeah, I mean, we did definitely see in Unleashed what happened. As in, I didn't really realise how big Beep the Meep was. I didn't realise it was a person size. And I think that's why I was kind of so adamant on it mostly being CGI. But, yeah, it was kind of incredible to see, like, the real prosthetic work in action.
Yeah,
All
I
the
thought
dialogue scenes were all practical, and it was really, really good. But then, obviously, as you get later on in the story, the stuff in the spaceship was very obviously CGI. Yeah.
I mean, I thought that like seeing the behind the scenes, it was absolutely phenomenal to
Mm.
see that this is like mostly practical, but they really failed at a certain point. I think because they do mention that they overlaid CGI over it, and I think that was a really, really big mistake because that just makes it look when you watch the episode, it makes it look CGI.
Mm.
But if you had have kept it with no CGI, it would have looked absolutely phenomenal.
It's just a case of what really works for the shot, because I'm sure there's definitely the stuff in the spaceship they probably couldn't have filmed that practically, because of how small the set was. Yeah, I mean it was definitely it was a photo scan, a 3D scan of the actual costume. It's like it was as true as it could have been in CG to how it looked in real life.
Yeah.
Obviously they've done it like the best way that they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't have an issue with them using CGI on it, but in the shots where it is practical, that what they did is they overlaid CGI, and I don't. Just to have some extra ear twitches, I don't think that's. I think they should just kept it simple, and it would have looked better, in my opinion.
It's a bit like the whole. Sorry, I'm saying Star Wars thing on your channel, but for viewers who
All
know
right, oh,
about
it's
Star
over.
Wars, it's about the like the Yoda puppet versus the CGI Yoda. Like the definite best is definitely a blend of the two. Like I love CGI Yoda, but I also love puppet Yoda. So it's just what works.
Yeah, and then the Wrath Warriors, they were practically no CGI. I think in the court scene, their legs were CGI, but other than that, they're completely practical, which is phenomenal. Um, I
I
mean,
think the
even the
design does look
lights.
a little bit dated. I definitely think
Yeah,
that
but
they do look very 1970s.
that's
Like
part
I
of the
would
point of them, though.
Meep
Because
was quite significant. I'd say that Meep didn't look exactly how it did from the comics.
yeah,
But
yeah, Meep had quite a bit of a redesign, but the Wrath Warriors, they said in Unleashed, they tried loads of different designs, but in the end, they just had to go back to the original because there's just nothing else good enough. I mean, I know that you haven't read the comic, but I absolutely love it, and I would have been quite upset if they had have changed the design of the Wrath Warriors massively. And I think I kind of love that it looks like something that you'd see in like a B movie at the time
yeah,
of the 70s. Donna goes into the shed where Rose kind of makes these gonk things, even though, as I said, they're not gonks. And Donna sees Beat the Meep, thinks it's one of those plushy things,
pokes it in
and
the
of
eye.
course pokes it in the eye. Yeah,
What the hell?
and I love that whole scene where Beat the Meep's talking to Rose. I love that bit. And yeah, and now there's just absolute chaos because Sylvia sees the doctor at the door as she's seeing
Oh yeah, that whole
Donna
thing
with
of
Beat the
her
Meep.
trying to stop
Yeah,
the
I
doctor doing
I
his thing.
loved this, but I
Quite
get the
funny.
impression that you might not have loved it as much.
I think the best bit was when the husband came in and was like, "So what's for tea?"
And also, it was mentioned somewhere that they were actually cooking tuna madras,
Tuna madras. I know.
whereas
I heard that. I heard
yeah,
that. I've never tried
because
tuna
of the
madras.
Disney budget, they could have just they actually could cook it instead of just faking it, which I just love that. Um, yeah, I think this whole scene is great, and Sylvia's just going like, "None of this is real; it's all a hallucination." Uh,
God,
yeah, that's probably the highlight of the whole episode.
I
Actually, it's
do. I
really
just kind of do question why the doctor was like so adamant to go see Donna again. You know what I mean?
well,
Because I feel like the 10th. I know they're meant to be different characters, but I feel like the 10th Doctor would like stay as far away from Donna as he could
yeah,
to try and protect her. But this
yeah, and he
new
kind of
Doctor doesn't really seem to care that much.
yeah. I mean, I forget. Is there a reason? Maybe he's trying to. I don't know. Because also, like in the end of time, he's like, if she sees me, she will die.
Yeah.
But then in this one, he's like, oh no, it's only if she remembers me. She can see me and it'll be fine. Yeah, it seems like he's not being very careful,
I
and
just feel
so
like
it
they're kind of
doesn't.
shifting the goalposts a lot in this story.
Yeah,
And which begs the question why even bother in the first place. But that's just my my bias kicking in there.
yeah. I mean, when he gets in, I mean, what? The unit soldiers are like gathering on the street, or so. Oh yeah, of course they're fighting the Wrath Warriors.
So yeah, I got really confused by like who was fighting who. I thought it was like was it the possessed unit soldiers, then the normal unit soldiers, and then the Wrath Warriors. I just kind of got a little bit confused what was going on at that point, to be honest.
Well, I saw it as the unit soldiers kind of got muddled together into sort of a group. So the possessed ones were kind of pretending to be the unit soldiers, and of course the possessed one would also be fighting the Wrath Warriors anyway, since the Wrath Warriors want to get Beat the Meat and lock them
Oh
up.
yeah, I mean obviously we didn't. The revelation wasn't revealed at that point, so like I guess it
Yeah,
was probably meant to be confusing.
yeah, I guess. I loved how they made the Wrath Warriors fly with like those kind of bug wing things.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I mean, they really do just kind of appear out of nowhere, though.
Mm.
It feels like they just kind of fly down from space down to Earth. I mean, we do see later on they
Smoke alarm.
teleport out to Beat the Meat. Hello?
Smoke alarm.
Oh no.
That's fine. Fire.
There's fire!
No.
Ah!
No, we have a very sensitive smoke alarm.
Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So there's a fight happening outside. the Doctor, does the Doctor know that the fight is happening outside? I have no idea. But the noble family are inside with the Doctor. The Doctor's having a little chat with Beat the Meep. Learns that the Wrath Warriors are just trying to take Beat the Meep's fur.
Oh no.
And then the Donna's house starts to explode. The Wrath Warriors are here. Then Unit coming through another door, and they're both kind of just firing at each other in the hallway. They're not really moving much. They're just kind of standing there firing. And then
he
the
makes those
Doctor,
shields.
yeah, he gets out the Sonic and he starts making the shields,
I do love
protect
that.
people. Yeah, I do think it's a bit. It's a bit.
It's just something more for the kids, though, isn't it? As in, you just kind of think it's quite action hero-y, and I quite like that. I feel like in the classic era, like Pertwee and Tom Baker were like really resourceful, and it kind of feels like the Doctors in the modern series don't really have that. Like, they don't have Bessie, they don't have the Whomobile, they don't have a yo-yo, they don't really. I don't like that, so it's nice to give the Doctor a few more gadgets.
Yeah, I mean, but I have to ask the question: why doesn't he just push a bookcase out there?
Because that'd get torn to shreds.
Well, not really. It doesn't look like because, firstly, the Wrath Warriors are just using what are they, plasma bolts or something, so they won't actually do anything. Then the other ones are just normal guns. So as long as you're careful, as long as you're careful, you won't get shot.
Evidently.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I like how they actually did use bulletproof glass on set, so it isn't just CGI. I mean, of course they put CGI over it, but I like how they were actually firing stuff at actual glass, so that there is actually stuff firing at it and then stopping where the force fields are.
Yeah, good reference material.
Yes. And then they go up into the attic, and they just start heading down to where the taxi is.
Oh yeah.
By going through the roofs. The Doctor, what does he do? He resonates concrete.
I thought it was something that they could do that already, but apparently.
Well, actually, that is a reference to the Ninth Doctor when I think it's in the Empty Child. He says something like, "Oh, be quiet! I'm trying to resonate concrete." So it is actually something that the Sonic could do before.
Do. Yeah, people had an issue with it. And it's like, but it happened.
Yeah, and so he just kind of pushes through, and
Yeah.
They go through all the different attics. And this kind of area of the episode, from like, as I said, from like where Donna finds Beat the Meep till they get back to like the spaceship, I think this is really well paced, and I think it's just well edited. And yeah, this area is kind of like the highlight of the episode. And they get to the taxi, and the Doctor sees someone who's a unit soldier who's presumably dead, lying on the street. He checks their pulse, and he finds out that they're just knocked out. So he goes, "What?" Then he goes in the taxi and drives off, and and then they reach like, where are they? They're like in a parking place or something. They're somewhere, and that's all that matters. And I love this reference because he gets out like this judge wig and puts it on, and that's actually a reference to the Stones of Blood, which is a Fourth Doctor story.
Oh, does that happen in Stones of Blood?
Yes.
No, I really like that scene. I thought Tennant played it really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I mean the whole court thing. I really, it was a really good scene. And we get to hear what really happens to Beat the Meep, which was said there. The psychedelic sun mutated the Meeps into these horrifying creatures, a bit like the Daleks, but different.
I see.
And the Meep is the last one left. And then the Meep just goes, "Oh, to hell with this!"
Thing again? Was that what it was? Was it a last of the kind situation again?
Yes, it was.
I get so sick of that in Doctor Who. I'm the last of my kind.
No, but they didn't really like say, "Oh, he's the last," or "They're the last of their kind." It wasn't like, "Oh my god, it's the last Meep." It was just, "It's the last Meep."
Okay. I swear, viewers, I have watched this episode. I just can't
Yeah, you seem to have
remember
forgotten a lot.
anything.
If it seems like I'm just talking a lot, it's because Ozzy doesn't really remember it that well.
I know. So yeah, that'll probably sum up my score at the end. I kind of just forgot about it after I watched it.
And then they go to the the Meep knocks out the Doctor, wakes up in the back of a van with the Noble family, and Donna is beginning to remember the Doctor at this stage. But other than that, not that much happens in this scene. And then when they get there, I love this because they have a really really great callback to the comic, which is that they've built Beat the Meat, this kind of throne thing, and
Oh right, yeah, I remember that.
they're carrying the Meat around on it, and I love that. But it turns out that the Meat actually landed in this like steel working place, so that it could get people to rebuild its ship because it was damaged or something. And turns out when the Meat lifts off again, it'll destroy half the Earth or something like that. It will destroy
Because of
London.
course it will. We know
And-
that's not gonna happen. Big mistakes.
And so the Doctor, the Shirley appears again and saves the Doctor, and blows a hole in the wall. And now Rachel Talalay, the director of this, said that this wall that had a hole in it was the best thing that she'd worked with ever.
Okay.
And it was nothing special. There was no cool directing for it. There was literally one shot, the Doctor jumping through it that was using the trailer, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember.
But I'd gotten really excited. I was expecting something really cool there, but no, nothing.
No, to be honest, it didn't really like. There weren't any signposts that this was directed by Rachel Talalay. I didn't get any of her style in this.
Yeah, it just seemed quite generic to me.
It seemed like a very blandly directed episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like they had a lot of style. Like even I don't like Twice Upon a Time, but like you could definitely tell it was one of hers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
whole, like,
It just seemed like just really, really average directing.
it wasn't really necessary to get her back. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully she directs an episode in the next season or something, which is hopefully really good or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be nice if she did a horror because, like, obviously she's done
Yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street, so it would be cool to do something
I
like
think
that.
I think that they got the directing wrong. I think she should have directed the next one.
Yeah, that would have made more sense.
It definitely would have made more sense.
Yeah, considering that's not her field, but
And then the Doctor runs through a hole, and Donna calls him the Doctor, and then runs off and tells the rest of her family to get back or like get miles away or something. And then the Doctor gets into the ship. Donna gets into the ship, and we get oh no, it's a
no.
glass wall.
this goddamn scene. My God.
Yeah. Oh, do you not like this?
No, needless to say, I mean, I know I've said it a million times in this review because I wasn't invested too much in the whole Doctor Donna thing. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Catherine Tate and David Tennant's chemistry in Series 4, but I think because I dislike Journey's End, Stone Earth and Journey's End so much, I just really didn't like the whole Doctor Donna stuff. And when they brought it back at the end of time, wasn't really that interested in it. And this time, the whole like melodrama of like when Donna dies is like, well, of course she's not going to die because we know she's in the next 2 episodes. I just hate it when that happens. Like when you know that they're going to be in future episodes, and like they just like fake out the death kind of thing. It's like, why? Why do this? Why waste my time?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I personally, the Doctor Donna story was one of my favourite stories, and it always has been. So I was really invested in this. So I think we are two opposite ends
Yeah, fair enough.
of Whovians here. So I loved this scene personally. And I love that the Doctor really didn't want Donna to remember. But then I think the way that Donna remembers is a bit too Disney. Just the Doctor saying loads of random keywords.
Well, he shouldn't have even bloody shown up in the first place if he didn't want her to remember. He should have just worn a bag over his head or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but he says loads of random words, and then Donna regenerates, and then the Doctor Donna.
God, yeah. To be honest, they did that stupid like whole fake out regeneration thing again. I kind of thought, oh, are they actually gonna have her like I don't know regenerate into something else because she's got Time Lord energy in her? And no, it just turns out that
No, I didn't think that in a second. I thought that was just showing that the Doctor Donna was back.
I just thought he was very lazy. As in, I would have the whole regeneration. I'm so sick of like the whole. Oh, I'm the same person. Oh wait, no, that's a fake out.
I mean, but that's just a Russell T Davies trademark at this point.
I don't. Well, I mean, I didn't want Rusty Davis back in the first place, so.
And so we get this like minute, which I love. This like whole minute of the Doctor and Donna sorting out what's happening. And we get in the background, I noticed in the music there is a bit of "I'm the Doctor" playing, which
Oh
I
yeah,
liked. And
I
then
didn't. That's purely Matt Smith's theme. Leave it to Ginny. Leave it to the boy.
actually, it did play before Matt Smith was even the Doctor.
Did it?
It did.
In what?
In the specials, they played. Well,
Dum,
I mean, it
dum,
isn't
dum,
exactly
dum,
I'm the
dum,
Doctor,
dum, dum,
but
dum,
it's
dum.
very similar. It's very, very similar. Trust me, I'm the Doctor. I know this.
I don't trust you on that.
At least I think they play it as someone in the specials.
Well, they played it during
Correct
Capaldi's
me if I'm
trailers
wrong
and
in the
series 8.
comments. Don't talk over me. Correct me if I'm
No,
wrong
no,
in the
no, no, no,
comments,
no.
and don't forget to subscribe. There we go.
Yeah, you forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, now that people have seen the boringness of my content, I'm sure that they'll want to subscribe. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we get this minute of the Doctor and Donna, and then out of nowhere, suddenly Rose is on the speakers, going, "Oh, I'm doing this as well."
That was just so weird. It was like, oh wait, hang on, Rose is in this story. Oh yeah, I forgot that Rose was here.
Yeah, I think both Rose and Shirley, their characters just both seem to kind of appear and then disappear whenever it was relevant.
Mm.
Less so with Rose, but Shirley, this, oh, she suddenly appears again here as well and calls the Doctor Jam.
Jam man.
Yeah, so Rose saves them. And then there's the binary, non-binary line, which I don't really get because Rose isn't non-binary; she's transgender.
Yeah. I was very confused by that. Like, wait, hang
Yeah.
on. What does this mean? I mean, I don't really know. Nobody knows what the Doctor's like sexual identity is anyway.
Yeah.
Because like, it was only established that Time Lords could gender change in 2011, right? I think that was like the first time it was ever mentioned. So that's a discussion I'm not educated on, so I can't really comment.
To be honest, though, apparently they're above gender anyway. So you know.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
And then when they shoot Beat the Meep up in a parachute, the Wrath Warriors appear with Beat the Meep, and they've got him or them. And then Rose and Donna just let go of the energy, which I don't really think that just letting it go was the best option of sorting it out. I mean, I don't know how else. Rusty Debs did kind of dig himself into a hole with this. It's a bit like the Doctor becoming Jesus in the Sound of Drums or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
And then it's over.
they just let it go. I like the idea that it did pass down into Rose, though. I thought that was. I
mean,
thought
it
maybe
makes
Donna
sense,
could
but-
just live with it now, but I guess they just let it go. Which I mean, I'm not mad about it. I just think it's a little bit lazy that they can just do that all of a sudden.
So wait, I'm a bit confused now because like, isn't that basically the whole Doctor Donna thing? Like a hybrid of a Time Lord and a human like shouldn't exist. But wasn't River Song also? No, she had like TARDIS energy as well, didn't she, or something like that? And I'm sure there's probably like half Time Lord, half human.
Complicated. Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's all nonsense anyway. As in, I was really looking forward to them just moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, and then we have the Doctor saying to Donna, "Oh well, why don't we go see Wilf?" And at this stage, I was thinking, "Oh God, don't promise Wilf when you might not even show him." And then we get the new TARDIS interior.
Oh yeah, that is really cool.
Okay, you like it? Okay, good.
We knew what it looked like before because it was leaked. We looked on one of our live streams, and no, I do like it. I think it probably lacks a little bit of something. I think it's maybe a little bit too open.
Yeah.
It maybe lacks, I don't know, some shades of grey in there somewhere. It's maybe a little bit too stark white, I think. But I do like how big it is.
I mean, I know we're not supposed to be talking about Wild Beyonder yet, but in Wild Beyonder, I do think it looks better, and I'm not really sure why.
They do change the lighting around, don't they?
Yeah, and then also in the teaser for the Giggle, it looks even better. But I think they need to add something, and I know that they will. Something called a jukebox or something like that. Because that was in the leaked photo, and it's also in the background of the Giggle trailer, I think. But they're definitely going to add some stuff as Doctor Who goes on, I think.
I hope so. I mean, I like how in Capaldi's TARDIS that obviously like looked more lived in than the other ones.
Oh, Capaldi's TARDIS is probably my favourite of all the new TARDISes.
I do quite like the 7B one though. I like how blue and cold it looked with Matt Smith.
Yeah, I mean they are quite similar though. When I was younger, I didn't even notice that they changed this at all.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So and then Donna, gets a. Oh,
Nope.
okay. Don't look at that. Don't worry. I didn't do anything to anyone. Don't worry.
Stanley Slitheen exposed.
No.
Horror.
Well, how do you think how do you think I look like this? I'm literally a Slitheen.
Oh yeah, you're wearing someone's skin anyway,
Exactly.
so I mean,
And then Donna spills coffee on the TARDIS,
of
and
course.
they go, "Oh
I
no,
did like that
we
bit.
could end up anywhere in space and time!" and then it ends. What did you think of the episode overall?
I'm due a rewatch. Definitely, I think that's quite evident, considering I didn't really have much to comment on. There were bits here and there I liked. I thought it was definitely a good introduction to what was to come, I guess.
Hang on a moment. Keep on talking. Keep on talking.
I do definitely think it was kind of messy in some places. I think the whole trans representation thing could have probably been done more focus given elsewhere, I reckon, because it maybe feel like maybe one element too much. But you know, I did like all that. I wasn't overall. Yeah, I don't know. I think probably what would I give it? Probably a 5. I think it's probably appropriate. I think. Not something I'm gonna rush to watch again. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad they adapted the comic. Cool of them to do. Because I'm a bit of a comic nerd, so that's nice.
I would give this one a 7.
Do you prefer the comic? Or do you prefer this?
The comic.
The original, the source material.
My arm's too long.
Oh no.
My arm's too long.
Stan,
Look,
you okay?
look.
I'm gonna spend my Christmas with a Dalek. And if I make him happy, he will stay. Just go and twiddle his eye. And then my little Dalek will say, Merry Christmas.
Christmas
Happy
tree,
Christmas.
mistletoe,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.